Oh.
Everybody, what's up? Welcome back to SFL Nights with AJ Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decide to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. I really appreciate it, y'all. And I have with me Mr. Mike Truilo, play-by-play broadcaster and one of the best that we have to offer. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's a beautiful Tuesday night here in South Florida where I am, and I hope it's lovely wherever you are. It's time to talk Week 9 SFL action.
Hey, yes it is, and it's absolutely beautiful in Atlanta tonight, hence why I'm outside. Decided to get some fresh air. But I forgot to say my picks for Week 8 with the last podcast I was on, and it wasn't so good. I think I got like 4 right out of 12. So that means 4 right, 8 wrong. Hopefully I did better this week. I'm sure I did better this week, right? I showed.
You both got to go up from there, you know?
You think, right? But I'm looking at this, I don't think so. But I did choose Sioux Falls, Baltimore, Atlanta, Lone Star Glory, Jacksonville, Vancouver, Houston, Arizona, Tulsa, Carolina, DC, and the Charleston Predators. So let's just see how well I did. On the 20th, the DC Dragons took on the London Knights, and London won. I was wrong about this game, by the way. They won 19-14 in Queensway. DC had 111 yards passing, 113 yards rushing, 224 yards total. Their time of possession was 16 minutes and 13 seconds with 1 turnover. London had 276 yards passing, 118 yards rushing, 394 total yards. Their time of possession was 27 minutes and 14 seconds with 2 mistakes. So, Mike, what did you think about this game?
I thought it was a lot closer than a lot of people probably expected it was, with the records being what they are. DC kind of cruising in at 1-7 and London at 3-5. But I think where DC kind of went wrong is in the passing game, and specifically pass defense. You mentioned it. Angus McLean had, 276 passing yards and kind of just tore apart the DC secondary, and that was the big moment of the game.
Gotcha. Player of the game was wide receiver Ben Carlia with 5 receptions, 122 yards, 1 touchdown, and 24.4 yards per catch. Also on the 20th, the Denver Nightwings took on the Atlanta Swarm, and Denver won 37-27. I was also wrong about this game. They played at the Hive. Denver's passing was 310 yards. They had 134 yards rushing for 444 total. Their time of possession was 22 minutes and 50 seconds with no mistakes. Atlanta had 416 yards passing, 44 yards rushing, and 460 yards total. Their time of possession was 21 minutes, 10 seconds, and 3 mistakes. So it looks like Denver held BDG, Hollywood, and Bryant had a few mistakes. What'd you say?
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised you picked the upset here, Ashley, because Denver looks like one of the more solid teams in the league this season, a season which basically every team has had their ups and downs. With that win, Denver sits at 7-1. They're pretty much a lock for the playoffs already. And they did it with defense. This was a high-scoring game, so you're maybe thinking, what kind of defense? You said it. They stopped BDG Hollywood. Only 43 yards, no touchdowns, only 2 receptions out of the backfield for BDG, who is one of the best pass-catching running backs we have in this league, and that was the tail of the tape. Denver ran away with it late.
And the player of the game was wide receiver Bryce Battle. 6 receptions, 119 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 19.8 yards per catch. Also on the 20th, the Mexico City Aztecs took on the Lone Star Glory, and Lone Star won 28-15. I was right about this game. Played at Medal of Honor Field. Mexico City had 292 yards passing, 54 yards rushing for 346 yards total. Their time of possession was 20 minutes and 17 seconds with 3 mistakes. Lone Star had 169 yards rushing, 153 yards total, 322 yards. Their time of possession was 23 minutes and 43 seconds with 1 mistake. So it looks like Lone Star had a more balanced game, would you say?
Yeah, I was actually really shocked about this outcome. Lone Star came back late, and I'll tell you what, their record is only 4-4, but they really have surprised me late on in this season. They have a big scalp over Mexico City. That's a divisional win. And now, who knows, they could run the table their last couple of weeks. I've been really impressed by running back Ike McBride, had 118 yards in the win. It's just a very nice all-around performance at home in Denton, Texas.
And Ike McBride was the player of the game. She had 21 attempts, 118 yards, 1 touchdown, 29 reception yards, and 1 reception touchdown. On the 20th, the Baltimore Vultures took on the Queen City Corsairs, and Baltimore won 21-6. I was right about this game. They played at Control Field, and Baltimore had 296 yards passing, 48 yards rushing, with 344 yards total. The time of possession was 23 minutes and 41 seconds with 3 mistakes. Queen City had 161 yards rushing, 161 yards passing, 116 yards rushing with 277 yards total. Their time of possession was 19 minutes and 55 seconds with 6 turnovers. So what did you think about this game?
Well, the most important thing about this game is Baltimore is pretty much locked up that North Division. They've now got a 3-game lead on London going into the last couple of weeks. I don't think they can be caught. They'd have to lose out. London would have to win out. But that's the big overarching storyline. The other thing I want to hit on real quick is Queen City's down season. Normally a powerhouse. Now they're sitting at 3-6. They're going to have to look for something in the offseason to turn it around. I know I didn't touch really on the game, but the overarching storylines for this one I think are more important.
Definitely, understood. Player of the game was quarterback Jack Wigmore with 38 completions out of 53 attempts, 296 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 74.1 quarterback rating. Oh, also on the 20th, the Arizona Scorpions took on the Las Vegas Fury, and we lost. Vegas won 25-23. I was definitely wrong about this game. We played at Silver State Stadium. Arizona had 318 yards passing, but only 32 yards rushing. Total yards was 350. Our time of possession was 17 minutes and 43 seconds with 4 turnovers, 4 interceptions, mind you. Las Vegas had 315 yards passing, 94 yards rushing for 409 yards total. They held the ball for 53 minutes and 27 seconds with 2 mistakes. Now, Michael, you called this game, and the excitement that you and Benji had throughout this entire game. Well, first it was kind of slow, but like towards the end, that fourth quarter, at 1 minute and 43 seconds. Tell us about it.
I think this format of discussion does not give us enough leeway for me to accurately describe what that game was like. I mean, you mentioned that Arizona only had 32 rushing yards, and the big portion of that is that the running back DJ Moses went out on the 3rd play from scrimmage with an injury, leaving Arizona with only a backup to work with. And basically, the first 3.5 quarters of the game was Las Vegas controlling the time of possession, but barely not being able to pull away because the Arizona defense was playing really well, as they got 2 big interceptions by Bernard Smith. And then right at the end, Arizona came back, took the lead on, a 4th and 1 go route down the sideline to Donnie Hands to take the lead with 1 minute and 47 seconds left. Then rookie quarterback Colin Pierce led the Vegas Fury all the way down the field to set up a game-winning field goal as time expired, including converting on a 4th and 17 that if they didn't get it, Arizona wins the game. So it was an insane last couple of minutes of that one, and it was a pleasure to call it, of course, with my broadcast partner, Benji Matson. And man, that game, I know I'm going a little bit overtime, but I have a lot to say about this.
It's fine.
That game was pivotal in the division because coming in, both Arizona and Las Vegas were 4-4. Now, Arizona is 4-5, Las Vegas is 5-4, and in the driver's seat potentially to pick up a wild card playoff spot. As I said earlier, nobody's catching Denver; they're 8-1. But yeah, that could have been a make or break couple of minutes for both of those teams this season.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we gave everybody the entertainment that they paid for. But I thought that was absolutely a great game to watch. I mean, true, we were on the losing end of it, but I mean, just the sheer drama is real. Hashtag drama is real. Definitely applied to this game. Quarterback rookie Colin Pierce was the player of the game with 28 completions out of 42 attempts, 315 yards, 2 touchdowns, 84.9 quarterback rating. Also on the 20th, the Jacksonville Kings took on the Los Angeles Vikings, and Jacksonville won 26-10. I was right about this game. We played at Full Moon Coliseum. Jacksonville had 294 yards passing, 59 yards rushing, 343 yards total. Their time of possession was 24 minutes and 44 seconds with one mistake. Los Angeles had 306 yards passing, 51 yards rushing, with total 357 yards. They held the ball for only 18 minutes and 24 seconds with 4 mistakes. So do you think that mistakes were the reason that LA lost?
Yeah, you got to look at the turnovers. I mean, it's a complete opposite to the week before where Los Angeles went on the road to the Hive and beat Atlanta with Rochelle Colston grabbing 4 interceptions by herself. And that was the difference in that game. So obviously the turnover is the difference in this game. Jacksonville, a big powerhouse in the league, as we know, they've made 2 finals in the past. The Atlantic Division is shaping up to be a good one because with Florida at 7-2, and Jacksonville at 6-3, Carolina at 5-4, and Charleston at 5-4. That is the only division in the SFL where every team is over 500, and we're set for a barn burner down the stretch in the Atlantic. But yeah, Jacksonville on the road, getting the job done with their defense.
Bruh.
I was muted. You're absolutely right. That will be...
I didn't want to say anything, but yes.
No, wait, we're good. They see it all the time. Player of the game was quarterback Christian Christensen with 44 completions out of 50 attempts, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 96.2 quarterback rating. On the 21st, the Houston Hyenas took on the Fort Worth Toros, and Fort Worth won 27-7. I was wrong about this game. We played in the stockyards, and Houston's passing was 318 yards. They rushed for 20, had 338 total yards. Their time of possession was 17 minutes and 19 seconds with 7 turnovers. Fort Worth had 231 yards passing, 81 yards rushing, 312 yards total. Their time of possession was 26 minutes and 38 seconds with 2 mistakes. So again, turnovers had to be the name of the game in Houston, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if you commit 7 turnovers in a game, you're pretty much asking for it at that point. I mean, this was a huge momentum swing for Fort Worth. They came in at home against the team in Houston that really wanted to win this. It's a local rivalry, and they just showed them the door immediately. And now that makes the South Division very interesting because Fort Worth now moves into a tie with Mexico City atop that division at 6-3, and they have to thank their Texas brethren, the Lone Star Glory, for defeating Mexico City and making that happen. But yeah, if you commit 7 turnovers, it's not going to go well for you.
Well, unless you're Arizona, then you win the game. I don't know how that happened. But player of the game was cornerback Adam Leach with 1 interception, 1 touchdown, 4 tackles, and 2 pass deflections. On the 21st, the Tulsa Desperados took on the St. Louis Gladiators, and Tulsa won. I was actually wrong about this game. They played at Gateway Coliseum. Tulsa had 222 yards passing, 69 yards rushing for 291 yards total. The time possession was 21 minutes and 49 seconds with 2 mistakes. St. Louis had 288 yards passing, 126 yards rushing, 414 yards total. Their time possession was 22 minutes and 11 seconds with 4 mistakes. So it looks like St. Louis on paper had a better game, but Tulsa walked away with a win.
Yeah, and what about this slide for St. Louis? They've now lost 4 in a row. They've fallen out of the lead of their division, taken away by Tulsa, who beat them in this matchup. And, Tulsa just played a better game down the stretch. JQ with a very, very respectable 83.3 completion percentage. And yeah, the Gladiators continue to free fall, and it's because of their defense. They just can't stop people when it matters most, and it happened again this week.
And halfback Sanzo Robinson was the player of the game with 23 attempts, 70 yards, 1 touchdown, and 22 reception yards. Also on the 21st, the Vancouver Legion took on the Florida Storm, and Florida won 38-20. I was wrong about this game. Now, normally I never go against Florida, but I don't know. I was thinking they was going to, Vancouver's going to do something. Clearly, it didn't. Well, not much. Passing for them was 250 yards, though. They had 208 yards rushing, so they were balanced in that regard for 458 yards total. They only held the ball, though, for 19 minutes and 11 seconds with 5 turnovers. Florida had 315 yards passing and only 82 yards rushing. 397 yards total. They held the ball for 24 minutes and 23 seconds with 1 mistake. So, again, it seemed like Vancouver on page seemed like they were supposed to win the game, but the 5 turnovers killed them.
And this was also the the Ron Cochran show, 4 touchdowns and 313 yards. And yeah, it's a great performance. Robert Redford, I mentioned, on the other hand, 207 rush yards, kept Vancouver in it. But this is just a message to everybody. Do not bet against Mighty RX against Vancouver. Every time in big games, it seems the Storm come out on top against the Legion. Florida now controls their destiny in that division. And again, he proves that I think Mighty and the Florida Storm are back, and they are a championship contender this season.
Definitely. Player of the game was quarterback Ron Cochran with 35 completions out of 41 attempts, 313 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 120.8 quarterback rating. The San Diego Mavericks took on the Charleston Predators, and Charleston won in a big way, 41-9. I was right about this game. They played at Fort Moultrie Memorial Stadium, and San Diego had 267 yards passing, 25 yards rushing for a total of 292 yards. Their time possession was 26 minutes and 40 seconds with 3 mistakes. Charleston had 440 yards passing, but negative 1 yards rushing, 439 yards total. They held the ball for 17 minutes and 20 seconds with 2 mistakes. Negative 1 yards rushing, Mike?
Nobody wanted to run the ball in this game. They had a total of 24 yards rushing between the two. But why? If you're Charleston, they ran away with it. It's been a tough season for San Diego, and hopefully the new ownership group, Optimus Klein and company, can learn from this and move forward for next season. But Charleston is right in the thick of it, as I mentioned, in that Atlantic division where everybody's over 500. And they've got a legitimate shot at Jacksonville and Carolina down the stretch to try and sneak into the playoffs. And they're playing very good football in Charleston. And as much as it pains me to say it, being a Carolina man.
Hey, I understand, man. Trust me. But your player of the game was quarterback TD Drew with 29 completions of 43 attempts, 425 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of 120.8. Portland Fleet took on the Carolina Skyhawks, and Carolina won 24-19. I was right about this game at David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium. Portland Fleet had 151 yards passing for 247 yards rushing. Total yardage was 404 yards. Their time of possession was 25 minutes and 6 seconds with one mistake. Carolina had 234 yards passing, but only 59 yards rushing, 293 yards. Their time of possession was 18 minutes and 34 seconds with one mistake. So how did Carolina run the ball less and made the same amount of mistakes and held the ball with less time? How did they come out with this win?
Well, this was a contrast in styles in its most extreme form. Portland came out to do one thing: run the football with Ezekiel Love, and they were doing it very effectively. He was averaging about 7-8 yards per carry in the first half against the Carolina defense, and they were keeping pace with them, Portland was, with Carolina offensively behind quarterback Xander Gold. But the problem is when you get a running back that has 40 carries in a game, he's going to get tired, and that's what happened to Love. By the end of the game, he was averaging 1.5, 2 yards per carry because he just didn't have the energy left to go down the field, and then Carolina pulled away or stayed in the lead, I should say, late. But for a long time in the Carolina locker room, as we were watching this game, we're going, man, he's just going to run every play, and they're going to win because we can't stop him. But Love got tired in the second half. It was a great game plan by Portland. It just unfortunately just didn't end up working out for them.
Gotcha. I did. You know what? That I negated to say that you were on Carolina. I apologize.
Not a lot of people know that because my player name is not my actual name.
Oh, what is your player name? Just so everybody knows.
Davidson Joseph. I'm a cornerback.
Gotcha. Cornerback, Davidson. Okay, guys, we got to look out for David. I'm going to be real with you. I don't know. I'm so sorry. Right, congratulations on the win, man. And the player of the game was quarterback Xander Gold. 19 completions, 27 attempts, 234 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of 118.4. Last game to end things off on the 21st was Sioux Falls Sparrows taking on the Louisiana Revolution, and Sioux Falls won at Stack 'em Up Stadium, and I was right about this game. Sioux Falls had 265 yards passing, 141 yards rushing, 406 yards total. Their time of possession was 25 minutes and 52 seconds with one mistake. Louisiana had 252 yards passing, 195 yards rushing, 447 yards. Their time of possession was 18 minutes and 8 seconds with 3 mistakes. So what do you think about this game?
Here come the Sparrows. They've won 3 of their last 4, and they're making a push to maybe put their name in the hat should they win out. What this tells me is that Sioux Falls loves a scrap. This was another scrappy game. Sioux Falls had to fight tooth and nail to the end of the game. They did it as well against London in week 7. But this game was mostly controlled by Louisiana for the most part, and then in the second half, Sioux Falls came back and stole it from them right at the end. But, man, if you were counting Sioux Falls out, don't anymore. They may have had a rough start to the season, but Julian Tyree and company have figured things out up there.
Exactly. Player of the game was wide receiver Gunnar Lewis with 5 receptions, 121 yards, 1 touchdown, and 24.2 yards per catch. So I wound up being half and half, Mike. 6 wrong, 6 right this week. You know, it's better than having 4 wrong and 8. I mean, 4 right and 8 wrong. You know, so making those adjustments.
Well, I didn't expect to do this, but I'm gonna go look at the league-wide predictions from last week because I think that's about average 6 for 6.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm average then.
Yeah, this past week they 7-5 actually was the the league overall was 7-5. So they hover around that 500 mark, and it just goes to show you that it's an any given Sunday kind of proposition here in the SFL. Two teams step on the field and one leaves, and who knows who it's going to be most of the time. I love it because the league is so close.
Very, very, very true. And I'm glad that Kim added these divisions to make things more interesting. So, if you want to see what we're talking about, if you want to have the schedule for the games, if you want to be able to pick up Arizona Scorpions jersey, hold on, let me show you guys. Arizona Scorpions and your favorite teams, jerseys, apparel. If you wanted to find out where our podcasts are, read articles, visit www.simulationfl.net. And you can even join to be a player. Just join our Discord from there. All right. So picks for week 10. And again, the graphic that I'm going to show you on the screen is probably going to be different from how it's listed, how we're actually going to go down the list. And this is for week 10. So Sioux Falls Sparrows will be taking on the Las Vegas Fury at Silver State Stadium. Now, we just went over there. We traveled to Silver State and Arizona lost. But I think that I'm going to go with Sioux Falls Sparrows. I think that they're hot. I think that they're going to come out guns blazing. I think they're going to wind up taking a win.
This is a very interesting matchup because both of these teams are coming off of victories and both really need to win out. But Sioux Falls need to win out and get help to have any chance of the playoffs. But Las Vegas needs to win out to have a shot at a home game. So both of these teams are going to be fired up. Both of these teams really love to run the football. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to love to watch this matchup.
It'll be wonderful. All right, the Louisiana Revolution. Say that 3 times fast. Taking on the Denver Night Wings at Richard L. Snowden Stadium. I think I learned my lesson. I am going to choose the Denver Night Wings to win this at home. What say you?
Tough to pick against Denver. As I said, 8-1. They're cruising their way to the number 1 overall seed. I'm not going to make many picks, but I'm going to pick Denver in this one.
Okay. Gotcha. And trust me, while you being a broadcaster, I understand you decide you don't want to, you don't have to. But it does help to kind of give like a little bit of information on the games if you like to do that too. Fort Worth Toros will be Mexico City Aztecs will be taking on the Fort Worth Toros in the Stockyards. And the way Fort Worth has been playing lately, and in Mexico City, if the Bronze Bomber can get off and get some passes down the Dags, they could be a very dangerous combo. But I think, and then with Ray Bentley over there, I think I'm going to go with Fort Worth, though, just because the way they've been playing, they've been firing on all cylinders, and I just think they're going to take this win. Probably not by much, though.
Yeah, this is going to be, I think, the game of the weekend.
Yeah.
Calling it right now. You'll want to tune in for this one. This game will be for sole possession of first place in the South Division and a inside track for a first round playoff bye. Mexico City and Fort Worth both score a lot of points. Both have really punishing defenses. Watch this game.
All right. Jacksonville Kings will be taking on your Carolina Skyhawks at David A. Richardson Memorial Stadium. Oh, man. Mike, this is going to be a tough game, man. This is going to be a real tough game. But
we need to win 2 of our last 3 to have a shot at the playoffs, and it starts right here. From a Carolina perspective, I mean, we can do it. We don't think we showed a lot of sets this week on offense, so we think we can come in and surprise Jacksonville a little bit. And then on defense, we got to take the ball away, either force it out of Christensen's hands too early or force them to run the ball, because when Christensen gets going, that's an unstoppable boulder.
Yes, and he has been on fire. He's been doing great this season, period. But I think I'm going to give you guys an edge to win this game. I think it's probably going to be like around 7. It depends on which Carolina offense is going to show up. Defense is always usually on point, but will you guys make it? I'm hoping so, because I picked you guys to win. Harish, I will come see you. The Vancouver Legion will be taking on the San Diego Mavericks at Robert Hansen Field at Lee Archer Stadium. And I'm going to go with Vancouver. I think that San Diego still has some growing pains and still has some progression that they need to kind of take effect before they start winning more games, in my opinion. I'm going to go with Vancouver on this.
I agree. Vancouver is playing angry because they lost last week to big rivals, the Florida Storm. As you said, San Diego, first season, they're still trying to figure things out. I don't think that that'll last for much longer for San Diego, but right now, Vancouver is in a strong position in this matchup.
Yeah, but once those progressions kick in, it's going to be a whole nother ballgame. Same with BC. But let's see. I have the Florida Storm taking on the Charleston Predators at Fort Moultrie Stadium, Memorial Stadium, and I am going to go with I'm going to go with the Florida Storm. I think that, with Allen and Mighty both being owners that have been in this league for a long time, it's going to be very difficult, and I know they're going to be well prepared as best as they can be for each other. I just think that Florida will take the edge on this one.
I don't deny your reasoning, and I also hope that Florida wins because we need Charleston to lose. As Carolina, we need to have the one up on them. So yeah, Florida in this matchup again. Ron Cochran playing out of his mind recently. They've got the offense ticking, and those defenses are ball hawks. They take the ball away a lot. Look out, Charleston. Remember, TD Drew basically threw most of the time for Charleston, and if he throws right into the teeth of that Florida defense, it could be a long day for the Predators.
I agree. Lone Star Glory will be taking on the Baltimore Vultures at Vultures Field, and I must say I'm going to go with Baltimore. Lone Star has been making significant strides with Ike McBride, Ace Finnick going off and everything like that, but I think Baltimore is just going to have that again, edge over them, and I think it's probably going to be either a 7-10 lead.
Yeah, I agree with this one. Baltimore, the reigning champions, they've been doing really well. They sit atop their division. They're cruising their way towards the playoffs. Lone Star had a big win recently, but I think that Baltimore gets it done.
Gotcha. So Atlanta Swarm will be taking on the St. Louis Gladiators at Gateway Coliseum. Should be a fantastic game. Atlanta is going to be traveling to St. Louis. I think Atlanta is actually going to pull this one out. I think BDG is going to have a fantastic game against St. Louis, and I think they're going to wind up winning this game.
This is a close one. I mentioned earlier in the show that St. Louis has been in free fall. They've lost their last 4 games. And Atlanta also hasn't had the best road in the last couple of weeks. Now everybody's looking up at Tulsa in that division, but it's still very close. I think the winner of this game still has a chance to make the playoffs, and the loser of this game is going to find it very hard to sneak in at the very bottom. So big game in St. Louis this weekend.
I agree. Houston Hyenas will be taking on London Knights in Queensway. Going to also be a fantastic game. If Angus has a great game like he did, then I think they have a chance. But the way Houston, they're going to be playing angry as well. I think that Shan has going to put together the playbook that those guys over there to actually beat the London Knights, probably by 7 points.
Yeah, and remember that Houston has a lot more to play for the rest of the way, because remember, Baltimore is pretty much locked up the North Division, so London can't really get there. They are 4-5. They could finish at 7-5 if they win out, but Houston still has a fighting chance in that South Division with everything being so close. So I think Houston playing with that extra motivation might find a way to get it done on the road, but who knows?
All right, and so the Los Angeles Vikings will be taking on the Portland Fleet at the Shipyard. Ooh, that's going to be a great game. I think that LA is actually going to wind up probably taking the win on this one. What do you say?
This is a tough one because both of these teams are coming off of games where they probably had a fighting chance but ended up losing. I agree with you. I think the Los Angeles defense is going to be too much for a Portland offense that hasn't shown me enough this season to warrant them taking this matchup.
All right. And the Tulsa Desperados will be taking on my Arizona Scorpions at Arizona Scorpion Stadium. And of course, I got the jersey on. this is who I'm voting for. This is who I think is going to win. And they're actually going to be on the show a little bit later. And that's a very interesting show to watch because there was bantering there. But I think that, as long as DJ stays healthy, we should be good to go to win this game. Because we're going to have to wind up being using our passing game as well as our rushing game with these guys because they have a very, very great defense over in Tulsa.
Yeah, this is going to be a matchup of two fantastic defenses. I'd take the under in this game if I was a betting person, which I am not. But this is a tough one to call. Tulsa now controls their destiny in their division, so playing with a little bit of extra motivation. And Arizona now has to win 2 of their last 3 to have a shot at the playoffs. So every game matters for both of these teams. This is going to be, I think, my sleeper choice for game of the week. My big choice for game of the week, obviously, I said it earlier, was Mexico City and Fort Worth, but this is my sleeper choice for game of the week.
All right. Sounds good. Will you be calling this game too? I guess we don't know.
I don't know. Mike Daggs, who's our broadcast director, usually doesn't like people calling the same team twice, so probably not.
Gotcha.
But we'll see.
All right, then. And lastly, the DC Dragons will be taking on the Queen City Corsairs at Conpro Field. I think, again, like San Diego, I think DC Dragons, even though they have had some really, really great games, they did get their first win. And I think with progressions, that this team is going to be dangerous next season. But right now, I'm going to go with Queen City Corsairs to win this game.
Now, these are two teams that have underperformed to expectations this season. Queen City, obviously the most decorated team in league history with 4 championships. They're sitting at 3-6. And then DC, you said 1-8, just at the bottom there in that North Division, have a little bit of things to figure out. But if anybody can figure them out, it's Destro and Stephen Mullinax over there in DC. Yeah, I think that this is a pretty safe call for Queen City, but who knows? Who knows? If the offense gets going and Sabaz Synergy starts throwing bombs, it could be anybody's game.
Any given sim day. Period. All right, guys. Next up, we have the Tulsa versus Arizona podcast coming right up.
The chatter, gossip in the
all right, what's up, SFL Nation? We're back with the Tulsa versus Arizona podcast. Oh man, it's a little weird for me because I was mentioning this to the fellas right before we started that I started on Tulsa. I'm currently on Arizona, so it's like, and I'm the quarterback for both teams at one point, So it's a little. It's nice, but it's a little weird to have all y'all in the same room together. It's waiting for a fight to break out or something.
Y'all don't want these problems.
Oh, okay. Listen.
No.
I know you play football. I know you play football for real. You trying to stop big. How big was that dude that you said?
Like 6'5", like 260.
Nah, I'm good. I don't need the problem. I don't need the problem. But I'm gonna go around the room and just ask how's everybody doing? What's new? What's going on? And I actually have 2 new people that have never been on the show, so I got special questions for y'all. But let's start off with Dion. Since you are the guest, how have you been doing, man? What's been up with you?
I've been excelente. I'm good. I've been chilling, just working, taking care of the family, trying to stay safe from COVID. You know what I'm saying? So we good. Still waiting on my taxes to hit, though. I'm trying to be balling for like a couple of weeks or whatever. They playing games with me, but no, I'm just playing. No, I'm good, though. Everything good on our end. Chilling.
That's a real thing. Trust me. I do understand. And that stuff is coming right in handy. We already had to wait, over 3 years for it? And then you want to wait, can we wait some more? So I get it. All right, Eddie, man, what's going on? See you out there in the car traveling.
Yo, my signal going in and out. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you now.
I don't hear words you just said.
Can you hear me now?
What up, though?
Not much. Just want to know what's up with you, man. How you been? What's been up?
life is busy, man. Right now they got us working out here like Hebrews, and I'm in Texas right now, somewhere outside of Austin, headed towards San Antonio. And just chilling, just trying to get ready for this week for Tulsa.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna touch on that in a minute. But all right, and Christopher Andrews, how are you doing, sir? First time on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I'm good.
Good. I'm glad you're here. Of course, I got some questions for you, but I also want to introduce Mr. DJ Humes on the podcast as well. How you doing, sir?
I'm all right.
All right, good to have you. So, Dion and Eddie, I'm gonna let y'all take a seat because y'all kind of regulars on the show. But for DJ and Chris, I just got a few questions for y'all. How old are you? Where's your home? Where did you come from? Where's your hometown? Give us some interesting facts about yourselves and your favorite NFL team. And I'll start with you first, Chris.
Well, I'm 42 years old, Birmingham, Alabama. I don't know anything interesting about me, man. I actually love basketball. I'm a basketball player. This is my time of year with the March Madness and everything. My favorite NFL team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. But as you know, living in Alabama, man, it's about the college football here. So we're big Alabama Crimson Tide football fan.
Okay, I'm sure you got a whole bunch of Alabama fans that are in the league right now that agree with you too. So.
But I was gonna say the Crimson Tide are basically the 33rd NFL team anyway.
Exactly.
They treat them like that, I swear. So what's up, DJ? How are you? Can you answer those questions for me?
Yeah. I'm 29. I'm actually turning 30 in a couple months. From Kansas City, live in Kansas City, and obviously that means my favorite team, Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I have been enjoying these last 30 years because the previous 24 were very terrible. So
y'all was like the Aints, huh? I know.
No, I never thought I'd even see them make the Super Bowl, and then they went and won it. So, everything else from here is gravy.
All right. Gotcha. And what's the interesting fact about yourself?
That's a good question. I'm just kind of a normal dude, kind of like Chris. I'm not really that interesting, I guess.
Oh, no, it gotta be something. You can wiggle your ears, you double joint it, you something.
I don't know if the camera will pick it up good, but I got my hand caught in an escalator when I was 5.
Oh, dang, man. How many stitches?
No stitches. It was actually I got it caught in the handrail.
Oh,
it was literally like a year before they started making the guards mandatory. Mm-hmm. So the rubber part of the handrail, basically, it gave me friction burns, but they was the equivalent of like 3rd-degree burns.
Oh.
But luckily I was young enough that it healed up good, and I don't have any nerve damage, and I got full, functionality just because it happened when I was so young.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Hey,
it wasn't fun, but I don't remember it. So.
Right, but hey, that's a pretty interesting detail, and you, like you said, you still got everything, and it still works. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So let's get down to the nitty-gritty of things. What do you think about season 16? We are heading into week 10. So we had 9 games. Some of them were successes. Some of them were heartbreak hotels. I want to get everybody's opinion about that. And I'm going to start with you first. Let's go back the other way. DJ.
It's been, for us specifically, for Tulsa, it's been kind of a wild season. When we started out 0-3. And, from there we went 4-1. And we've been in every game so far, except I believe, who was it? Mexico City is the one that we just nothing went right for us. I think we ended up losing by more than 2 or 3 scores. I remember right. But outside of that one, like we've been pretty consistent. I mean, there's things we can do better, like limiting the turnovers, and we need to get that ground game going. But, me being a diva receiver, I ain't gonna mind if we throw it 50 times a game. But it's been fun to be a part of, like, and see it, like, everybody's still in it. There's not really a whole lot of teams that are out at this point, Like, we went from 0-3 to where if I believe the math and the tiebreakers work out right, we're top of our division at the moment. So that's been a pretty fun ride.
Oh, perfect, man. Perfect. And what about your player success, your individual player success? Are you happy? Anything you think you want to change?
I'm happy so far. I mean, I'm just trying to grind those progressions to get some more of the animations going, because most of my primary stats are maxed or close to it. So, like, I picked up Route God a couple weeks ago. I'm working on some more, but, like, as far as, like, personal stats go, that's not really anything I'm worried about at the moment, because, like, when I got drafted last year, like, I talked to Dion before he drafted me. Like, I came into the team knowing that I'm third fiddle behind literally the best receiver in the league, in my opinion, Gabriel Manning. And Corey Jones ain't a bad number 2. He'd be a number 1 on most other teams, I feel like. And then, this year we picked up Jason France as a tight end, who's shown some real promise. So, like, yeah, I mean, my stats are not that good, Obviously, I'd like to have them be better, just because, you always want to see your guy do good. But, like, I feel like I'm fulfilling the role that I agreed to perfectly. And, hey, we're winning. So what can I really complain about?
Good point. Very good point. All right, Chris, same question. What do you think about your season so far? And then what do you think about your individual players' success?
Well, man, I think season's going pretty good. We started off a little slow, but here we are in week 10, the top of the division. Made a strong comeback. I think we got, 4 out of the last 5, something like that. So, season's going pretty good. A lot of people in the league didn't think it was going to be like this. I think I was watching Tyler Falk's show at the beginning of the season. He had us 4-8. Now here we are, man, 5-4. So, I mean, it's a success. A lot of people, as we look into who you got and all of that, they don't give us a lot of, a big chance. We just keep our heads down. We're a quiet team. We keep our heads down and we go to work every week. That's what we're about. So, hey, that's the Tulsa way. We ball over here. And as far as my personal success, man, I've been at it since season 14. I feel like me, Jaden Swift, and Berto DeMoya, hey, man, we form one of the best D lines in the league. You guys got a pretty good line too. But hey, we got a pretty stout, man, front 4. Matter of fact, the whole entire defense. I mean, as far as myself, I think this is my best year. I think I got 8 sacks so far this year. I think that's my high. So I think I got 15 or 16 tackles for loss. I mean, I'm on top of the world right now. It's my best season, man. Best season to date. More to come.
All right. Love it. Love it. Dion, what you thinking about your season, man? And why don't you have a player on the field?
I'm pretty good with the season. I was, like, to harp on what those guys said, I was definitely kind of down about the first 3 weeks. Man, we came out the gate, we got our ass blasted. Atlanta beat the brakes out of us. It was 44-17. And we were like, man, we can't let that ride. So I attribute it all to my staff, like with Chris and Berto, Jaden and Gabe. Like, we all come together and we working tirelessly. Like, we have weekly meetings. Hey, what do you see? What do you see? And we put it all together and starting to pay off. And we've able to turn the playbook around and be on this run and playing Desperado football that we all know we can. So initially I was down, but now I'm confident as ever. Like, the play I've seen on the field recently is what I know that our team is capable of in all aspects. Gabe does his thing. DJ, well, both DJs on the defense and on the offense. Hume does his thing. He plays his role, and that's what it takes. We know with football, everybody can't be a superstar, so we need every position to play their role. And at the end of the day, that's what makes the team successful. And as far as my player, I was done with it when I first joined the league. I made a player, was one of the best running backs in the league, but as I told everybody, once I got my initial goal when I first joined the league was to have my own team. So I let my running back play one season, and then I'm done after that. Like, if I'm pulling the strings and running the show, I wanted to give somebody else an opportunity to take that mantle up. So if it's a simulation football league, if I'm Jerry Jones, why should Jerry Jones be on the field getting handoffs? And I know that's just my personal take. No knock on everybody else. Owners wanting to play, I'm all for that. If that's their thing, more power to them. But for me personally, I want to bring in guys and let them have the opportunity to shine on the field. And I'm just happy with trying to keep everything in line behind the scenes. And but at the end of the day, I want to win. Shit, I want people like-minded, and we want to have fun. But it's only fun to me when we win. So when we lose, it don't matter. I take it on the chin. Even if I didn't do a game plan that week, it's all on me. So I'm not worried about being on the field, but we all hear the ball. That's what we do.
All right. Nice. Eddie, what about you? What do you think about our season? And what do you think about your individual player success?
Can you hear me?
Just can't see you. While he's getting it together, I'll go. So, as far as the Tulsa, Jesus. As far as AZ.
Nah, you said it right. Shut up.
As far as, being on AZ, we had those moments where, like last game, for instance, it was 1 minute and 43 seconds left. I chuck it downfield in 4th and 1, and I chuck it downfield. Donnie Hands catches it. We instantly we catch up. Then we surpass them by 1 point. And we don't use the time. We didn't get up enough time off the clock. So now they get the chance to go down and score a field goal. We had some very good games that we were in, but it just seems like we are still working on what works best for our offense. I know I throw a lot of interceptions. Now, I don't know if that's settings. I don't know if that's my individual player and how I built her. Not quite sure, and I'm not quite sure how to fix that. But I do know, like, we had one game where I threw 7 interceptions and we still won. That was the game that I dedicated to my father when he just passed, So we had those moments of brilliance that we would show. But then we have those moments where it's like, what is going on? How do you get AI to call what you needed to call? And when we see it, when we're seeing it in practice, when we're seeing it when we're running our sims, how do we get that to translate on the field? Because sometimes it just feels like it just don't, But I think overall we had a decent season, I would say. Like I said, those were just some slight miscues. If we can turn those around, then we'd have a better season than we're having right now. But hey, we still got 2 more games to win. We had 2 wins out of the 3. No, technically we can win. If we win 2 of those 3 games, then we can still make the playoffs. Who knows? Maybe we can win all 3. Maybe we can win all 3. We can try to start this week. But, I still remain hopeful that we'll get those pieces that we need to be able to be more successful. And I'm looking. My players pretty much all statted out for in regards to the things that really matter. So now I'm going to be working on some other things to try to make her more accurate, to try to make her more mobile, things like that. So we'll see what the future holds. Eddie, what are your thoughts?
All right, so what were the 2 questions? My thoughts on the season and what else?
And then your individual player on the field.
My thoughts on the season, we 4-5. You know, 2 of those losses. The loss to London, I blame myself because, like I told y'all in the locker room, I was coming home late from work and I made the change to the offense, forgot to make the change to the defense, and sure enough, it bit us, especially in that fourth quarter when they had to go for it on 4th down 3 times, I think it was, and we didn't have a place in there to get them off the field. That's on me. The loss last week, ain't no doubt in my mind if we had DJ, we win that game. Ain't no doubt in my mind. You know, he got hurt after 3 carries and was out for the game and wasn't even touched. That pissed me off. Man, I wanted to punch a wall. I shed tears after that game. And I'm man enough to admit it because I was just so pissed off to put all that work in. I wanted to see that happen to us, man. I was, I was just emotionally spent. And, but it's still, we got, like you said, we still got 3 games left. Start this weekend. Tulsa, I'm sorry, but y'all taking the L this weekend, man. Y'all taking the L. And, like my man was saying earlier, I didn't catch his name, but like my man was saying earlier, he right, man. His D-line, man, actually back there running for a life. But, it's going to be a good game. I look forward to, keeping Ashley upright as much as possible, getting, and doing what it takes to win the game. So, we'll see. Like my man said, they got Gabe over there and Corey Jones over there, Sanzo, they got some weapons over there. So we got to be ready. And I haven't had much time as I would like to sim this week because of work, but we'll get it together, and I look forward to a good game. As far as my player go, man, I get what Deion's saying. I respect him for wanting to make room for other guys and all that. But he was a running back. It's only 24 of them. I'm a strong safety. It's a lot of them. Man, my guy gonna be in a wheelchair out there if I had to get him out there in the field. He gonna be out there, making tackles and deflecting passes and do what he got to do to help the team win. One thing I don't do, which I'm proud to say, unlike a lot of owners, is I don't hog up the salary cap. Every year since I have this team, and you can ask Ashley, she's sitting right here, I strip my animations and say, yo, y'all go out there and y'all eat. I don't have to start season with 4 and 5 animations to be successful. You know what I'm saying? I brought y'all here. I want y'all to have fun. So, I say the cap for y'all. Y'all go out there and eat. And I start as a bronze. I do it every damn season. I don't really care. And we're gonna do what we got to do to try to get W's. Season ain't over with yet. Got a couple of disappointing losses, but still 3 games left. Three opportunities to do what we need to do to make the playoffs. And let the chips fall where they may. And then unfortunately for Tulsa, to start with y'all. And I look forward to a good game this weekend.
Okay, anybody got something y'all want to say about that?
Yeah, I know Eddie's my guy, but I hate to disappoint that man. I know he's gonna be on his high horse, but he gonna have to take that L. I'm confident.
You know what? I dedicate this game to you when you call me out on Dave's Action Show talking about where I live at.
Hey.
So when y'all eating that L, like my man from Tampa Bay said, what that W tastes like, y'all ain't gonna have a clue what that W tastes like, cause y'all gonna be swallowing that L this weekend.
Yeah, you see, he got his ass released after that too. So I don't want to hear nothing after y'all take that L. Hashtag retire Eddie Gage.
Oh, like y'all wagering? Y'all gonna put a wager on it?
Hey, I'm all for it.
What you want to do, man?
All right, we can talk something. We'll make it happen. We'll post it so everybody can see. You hit my DMs. We'll make something happen. Cause this is a big game. If we'll do the official announcement, if everybody knows this gonna be a rivalry, the Dust Bowl is what we calling it.
That's right. The Dust Bowl, man.
Tulsa versus Arizona.
It's gonna be good.
I love till we hit that field. Then hell no, we're going down.
Well, I do plan on making sure I evade all of your defenders. So I'm gonna do the best I can. Now I ain't gonna sit here and say I may not throw no interception, or two. But what I will say is that as long as we come out with that win at the end, I throw 7
all that
still.
matter. It's only one step matter, and that's the W. That's what we gonna get.
Facts. Not a,
That's
After
right.
this game, Tulsa gonna be tied with St. Louis and Atlanta, and we gonna be in a dogfight for second place in the West. We're gonna just go from there.
Yeah, y'all don't even need this game, man. We do.
We might not need it, but we gonna have it. It's
This game.
ours. We're gonna send y'all some tickets. I'll reserve y'all a press box for our first round playoff matchup. Y'all want to fly y'all down? Get y'all some Tulsa barbecue. Y'all know they ain't got no good barbecue in Arizona. Y'all out there eating churros and shit. Tex-Mex. Nah, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is gonna be a great matchup. I know y'all got some ballers on y'all team, and so I know y'all in the lab. Eddie being modest talking about him in the lab. And yeah, right. Miss me with that. I know your ass probably just got off the Xbox 20 minutes ago when you got in the car.
Actually, tell you, man, I've been working so much, man, it's crazy.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad then. Unless you got this best for us. So
See,
How many scouts you got on your squad?
that was on my next question.
All I need is one. My man right here, Christopher Andrews, which is, to be honest, the unsung hero. I've been doing this for a while. I ain't never seen a scouting report like this man do. This man, what's today? Tuesday? He just uploaded our scouting report right before we hopped on this call. It's already done. So this is the man. All credit goes out to him. Boy, got y'all attributes, y'all tendencies, what y'all whole playbook that y'all did on Saturday. It's already done. So this the man right here. He a big credit for our turnaround this season. All props go to him. Christopher Andrews. Remember that name.
Hey, I'm jealous of him. You know how many scouts I got?
Yourself,
myself, and me.
Hey, I feel it though. That's how I was. I'll admit. I was like, no, I can't trust nobody else. It's all on me. But hey, I got lucky. I was blessed with. I got a great staff now, and I attribute them. They help me out. It takes some burden, especially with family. Like I commend you. I know you always on the road, so I can just imagine how much time you using taking the Xbox with you. So props to you.
Yeah,
but
man, bro. Yeah, it's still on the plane.
I already know, and that's the thing. A lot of people they don't get. Like they think they're watching the game and they're like, "Oh man, why we in shotgun on the 2-yard line on the goal line?" And people get upset, right?
Yeah.
But they don't realize. Well, how you think that make us feel? We don't spend 10 hours trying to game plan.
Yeah.
I'm 31 years old. I done gained at least 50, 60 gray hairs strictly because of SFL games. Trying to game plan and we understand your frustration, but the owners and the coaches, we stressing 10 times more than y'all because we don't spend all week neglecting our families trying to win this game, and we going through it, watching the games. We know the play that's about to be ran before it happened. They like, why is they doing this right now? So to the whole league, like, if you want to be involved and you want to understand, get with your coach, get with your owner, get the game. Like, we got great owners and great staffs in this league. We all willing to teach y'all, and so y'all can see the other side of it and why it's so difficult, because you're game planning against your opponent, but when it comes down to it, you're trying to trick the AI into doing what you want it to do.
Yeah, that's actually
right. That's what people don't understand. You might put in a formation or a play that you don't even want it to run just so it can call another play in that same formation, and that's the thing that people don't get. So I got a great staff, Birdo and them, and we talk. And when you have multiple people on your staff, it's a lot easier, and that's the thing that people miss.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the staff real quick, because they're one of the biggest reasons why I'm here in Tulsa is because I actually played for Jaden and Birdo at Madison in the minors. And like there was a conversation that we had yesterday in the locker room chat. I'm not gonna name names, but somebody brought up some points that they had saw and was basically like, "Hey, this is what I'm seeing. How do we change this? Or, can somebody explain to me why the AI does this when it's, not optimal or whatever?" And like, we have a good enough locker room and a good enough staff and a good enough owner that, we have 4 or 5 different people putting their opinions in there, talking to each other, explaining stuff, trying to come to, like a common consensus, which is, one of best things that I like about this organization is you can just, if you see something, put it out there. You ain't going to get yelled at. Nobody's going to say you're overstepping your bounds or, hey, you're not a coach. You're just a player. Get back in get back in your place. Nobody's going to say that.
Yeah.
And that's really important too, to make you, if you want to make a difference, allow your team or allow people to help you so that you can. He is totally right. I mean, we've tried to offer people money to scout for us. We've had people that said they were interested in trying to scout, but then they're like, "Oh, I'm going to scout half the game." Be like, nah, this ain't for me, bro. So it's just like, it's about you finding those right people, that diamond in the rough, if you will. And if you can find that as somebody that's really down for your team, somebody that has your team as well, the team's interest at heart, you're going to go far. And that kind of segues, Chris. So what is your secret to being a good scout, an effective scout?
Well, it's just about watching the games. Well, you got to have some football knowledge. Then, because it is a simulation, so it's realistic as it could possibly be. So the more football knowledge you got, the better it is for you to scout, to kind of decipher what's going on and to counter what another team's trying to do. But it's at the same time, it's the AI. The AI does some unbelievably crazy things. And so you not only are you trying to scout against the opponent, but then you're also trying to say, okay, now in my report, I got to write it up in such a way that we got to also trick the AI into running this, this, and this. Because if I just say, hey, man, we need to stop X, Y, Z, and we just sitting in there, the AI come out in goal line and you're at midfield because it's 3rd and 1. And, man, they just throw, the 30-yard, 40-yard, 50-yard bomb on you, and that's it, So you got to trick this AI on top of just preparing for what teams do. And also, teams change up week to week. We played, we played this weekend? St. Louis. So we played St. Louis last week. If you watched the game the week before, St. Louis threw the ball, I would say 70% of the time. But when they played us, it was the first time all season they all of a sudden running the ball with the fullback. It was the first time all year that they did that. So you're trying to come up with what they might do. You know what I mean? It's tough, but you just put in what you're going to do as a team, as your team, and how they're formed. What you guys got. If you guys got 3 receivers instead of 4, well, you got to, base your team around what you have. And the same thing on defense. If you got 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs, that's nickel. You gotta plan that's your base and go from there, and then try to add wrinkles here and there to make it work. So that's what we try to do. We just try to watch what other teams' tendencies are, and you just try to put something together and then try to think of everything else that they might do based on what their roster looks like.
I just still think that's crazy that you got to trick, that you have to trick the AI to make you to call the right play. Because I remember we would go 2-minute drill and it'd be like 10 minutes left in the quarter. I'm like, what are we doing right now? He was like, Ash, like I put it in there, but I know I was gonna call it right then.
I remember that after that game, I literally was messaging owners like, bro, why is it doing this? Like, losing my mind. I'm like, do I need to add 30 run plays? Just so I don't understand. Like, I'm messaging people that we gonna play, Mighty, probably Eddie, anybody. I'm just messaging owners like, hey. And that's another thing about the league. Like, it's all a family. Like, we all opponents at the end of the day, but we're not afraid to help each other out. So, yeah, right. Like I said, anybody get involved, and we all friends at the end of the day. Reach out. Yeah, most of us.
So, would you guys be inclined to, let's say, if you have people that are interested in scouting, would a few of the owners be willing to kind of like do like a Zoom meeting where you can kind of share what you do like off season and just try to teach people how to do it, because maybe it's situations where there are willing participants but they just don't know how. Like me, I would love to scout. I would love to be able to game plan. I play Madden, but I know that 2K is different from Madden. Maybe not as much, but there's definitely some differences there. I'm wondering, would the owners be willing to do that? Kind of like do a class or something.
Yeah, I would be open to that. And I'm not sure if that's what's gonna happen at this convention, but I know previously for that one got canceled, we were gonna do like a symposium of sorts, like just like an owners panel, just ask questions. But at the end of the day, I know we do here in Tulsa, but I'm sure other teams do as well. I think the average person, they may just be intimidated by it. Like they don't, before they even try, they may think that, oh, I don't have the game, I can't do it. You don't need the game. Like you can just, you're already watching the game. If you take a notepad, it don't have to be copious notes. Oh, they ran a 3-yard out and this is the percentage. Even every little bit helps. Just something saying that, oh, he got 10 targets. 6 of those targets were deep posts. Just that little bit helps, could take 20, 30 minutes off someone doing a game plan and just help. So if you want to get involved, just ask. And so I think a lot of people are intimidated and they just think that it's more involved than what it really is. So I think people, they don't reach out and they don't try.
Yeah, it's like Dion says, it's just watching the game. That's it. If you're gonna sit down Saturday or Sunday and watch the game, right? It's the same thing. You're watching the game, you see what works, what not works. It doesn't have to be so technical. You can just be like, hey, Team Z has run the ball up the middle 10 times and they've gotten 150 yards running the ball up the middle 10 times. We play them next week. Let's just, that's all you got to do. It's just really watching the game. And once you give that information, just say like, for instance, to me, then I can go and look and break it down and say, okay, they ran this particular formation and they did this and did that. And so they like to do X, Y, Z. It's not really, to be honest, it's a lot, but it's not a lot. You just have to watch the game and then basically you just writing down notes. You're just taking notes, tendencies on what they're going to do. And, it's both ways, offensive and defensive. And the more you watch it and the more, like you say, you get the game, then you can kind of add more. But anybody on the team can just sit there and watch the game and then just throw their 2 cents in. I mean, it's all good. All information is good information.
So how long, and this is going to be like one of the last questions that I ask, how long does it take to scout a game? If you, ideally, I would say a roundabout time, everybody, DJ, I don't know if you have any, DJ, do you scout too? Do you have the game?
No, I don't.
Okay. So Chris, Dion, and Eddie, how long does it normally take you to scout a game?
To be honest, I ain't really been doing no scouting. My man Chris, he got that on lock. So I do a little sims here and there and I skim the game. But as far as in depth, that's my man. I default to him for all of that. And actually this season I've been hands off. I did a little game planning here and there, but on offense it's been mainly Berto, and on defense it's been Jaden, and then Gabe giving his thoughts. But when I used to do it, scouting wise, maybe hour and a half, but I'm not sure how long he takes, because when I used to do it, it's not even in depth as much as his is. So I don't know how long it takes him, but it didn't take me too long when I did it. But I kind of half-assed it because I'm kind of lazy.
You got about 12 other things you're working on, including the family.
Yeah,
so
I know, right?
So what about you, Chris? So how long do you think it actually takes?
It just depends. It depends on how long the game that you're watching from the previous week goes. So it might be an hour and a half for the game and then another maybe hour and a half to write everything up. I generally, I'll do it 2 hours over 2 days. So we're talking about like Sunday or Monday, a couple of hours, and then Tuesday I kind of get it together and I write it all up so I can get it into my guys. So generally, about 3 to 4 hours, I would say, and that's it, 3 to 4 hours, 3 to
4 hours. And that's per game. So if you're scouting, let's say you're trying to scout for weeks 10, 11, and 12. That's 4 hours each game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be like 3-4 hours each game.
Yeah.
But generally, I mean, like I say, you're really coming in and looking at everything from the latest game, because you can watch the other games. You know, just like if I'm watching TV on Sunday, I'm watching the games. So say for instance, I might have watched you guys 3 or 4 times already this year. And now it's the week that we play you. So I already got a working knowledge of what you guys do. I've seen 3 games. So I might watch the last game and take what you got from the last game, add it to what I maybe seen over the past 3 games, and take the tendencies that I see and put it down. Okay. So, you know, it's like that. Like I said, it's about 3 hours on average though for a game.
And that's good to know, just in case somebody is interested in doing it. At least they have kind of a time to gauge. And I'm assuming that the better you get, you know, or, you know, depends on how much information that you really need, you can go in 1 hour. I mean, I had Jeremy on the show and he told me that he only spent sometimes like maybe 5 hours total in a week. I'm like, huh? And that's with game planning? That's what yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you good, you know? So, but I guess it just depends on your knowledge and how well you do things. Uh-oh, my camera's out of focus a little bit. There we go. All right.
There you go.
But we're getting ready to end things.
My bad.
You good. Did you want to add something to that, or you good?
No, we're good. You good. You got it.
Okay. So what I want to do is just kind of go around before I let y'all go and see what is your overall thoughts for season 16 up until this point, and do you foresee yourself being with the same team next year? All right. Hey Eddie, we're gonna go ahead and go with you first, so I can let you go, man.
I'm good. I just headed to my room.
Okay.
What's the question?
I was saying, so where do you foresee the rest of the season going?
Hey, come back to me. Come get on the elevator.
Okay. All right, so let's go with you, DJ. Where do you see the rest of this season leading up to? And then what are your thoughts on staying with Tulsa?
Well, first off, I see the rest of the season leading to a Tulsa Desperados victory in the championship game. Because I honestly believe that we are the hottest team right now, 4-1 in our last 5 games. I don't care what the who you got says. In fact, keep on betting against us because we win every time you do. So, no, I believe in this team, though. I think we're going to win the division, and I think we're going to be that one team in the playoffs that, regardless of seed, you don't want to face. You know, like Tampa Bay last year.
Cinderella.
In the NFL. What?
Like the Cinderella, like when they said like the in the dance when they talk about the Cinderella coming from behind, like Loyola beating Illinois.
Oh yeah, or Oral Roberts at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, I think we can be that team. Like, we have it in us. I have no doubt in my mind. And I've told everybody in the locker room, the coaches, Dion, I said, I'm in Tulsa as long as you want me. As long as the cap works out fine and you want me back, I am going to stay at Tulsa. Because, one, it's actually, well, minus St. Louis, but anybody that grows up in Kansas City knows that St. Louis is the second-tier city in Missouri. So outside of St. Louis, Tulsa is the closest city with the SFL team, so it's kind of my home team. But also, like I've mentioned before, like I love this team. Like, the guys we have, amazing. Locker room, couldn't ask for better teammates. Same with coaches and ownership. Like, I want to be here. I always liked the idea of being a one-club player. Like, I love it when that happens in any sport. It's just cool. It's a cool story. So that's kind of what I want to do. I want to be a one-club player, and I want that club to be Tulsa.
All right. I respect that. All right, Chris, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm enjoying the season. Hope we can keep pushing forward, make these playoffs, have a chance to win the title, As far as myself, man, Dion took a chance on me 3 years ago. He picked me up in the 3rd round. I mean, I remember reaching out to him you know, and he hit me back, and he gave me a chance to get in the league. I'm here, and man, I ain't planning to go nowhere else. I mean, it's a great organization, man. We all come together. It's a cool locker room to be in. I mean, what more could you ask for? So it's like it's everything what DJ just said, and I mean, so I'm a Desperado, man. It's like we ball around here.
All right, we ball. All right. Well, for me, I plan on being here unless Eddie fires me. You know, I'll be looking for a job if he decided he wanted to just part ways with me. But no. Arizona's a great spot to be a part of. And for people that don't know, I did get my start in Tulsa, and Deanna, I'll forever and always be grateful to you for bringing me in the league as the first female quarterback. And, you know, giving me my start. I was with y'all for 2 years. So I always got some love for it. I'll always have love for Tulsa. Again, until we play each other. This weekend ain't gonna, you know, it's all right, bro. But, and I foresee us going, I believe that we're going to get those 2 wins that we need to make it to the playoffs. Now, how deep we go, it's still subjective. But I think that we do have a chance with the squad that we have with the DJs and with Iverson Gamble and Mark Mello and D.D. Sacks all over the place, sacking the quarterback. So y'all better watch out. Y'all telling me to watch out. JQ better watch out because them boys be hungry. And it's a good squad to be a part of. Yes, a lot of them are more quiet. They have jobs. They're in school. Bernard's over there making beats, you know, concentrating on that. So, you know, my thing is, as long as y'all make your progressions on time, and as long as y'all there for game day as much as you can be, I can't say enough about these guys. But what about you, Dion?
Yeah, I might be with the team next year. You never know what may happen. I might find into some financial trouble and have to sell a team for some stocks and bonds or something like that. You never know. But nah, yeah, I plan on both these guys being back. I just love hearing it. Not even if it was my team. At the end of the day, I want everybody to have a good experience. So at the end of every season, we have exit interviews, and I ask each and every player, like, hey, do you want to come back? What are your aspirations? We would love to have you back. But if you want to go somewhere else, all power to you. Like, any people that done left here, I let them know, like, hey, you welcome back. But if you don't want to be here, I believe in 100% transparency. So it ain't no hard feelings. Like, just be 100 with me. Let me know if you feel like you need a bigger role. If you're not happy, let me know. Because at the end of the day, win or lose, we want everybody to have a good time. This ain't no free shit no more. Everybody paying money. So I don't want somebody paying money and they not happy with the experience that they getting from Tulsa or with the SFL as a whole. So, but yeah, I expect going forward, I'm ecstatic. I want us to be in the playoffs. I feel like we have the pieces and the team to go far this year. So that's our number one goal, is making it in. I don't care if we a 10 seed, 12 seed, number 1 seed, it don't matter. It's the SFL. The number 1 seed can lose to the lowest seed on any given Saturday, Sunday. Y'all know how this league is. It don't matter. So, I'm ecstatic with the pieces we have and our prospect for the future. And we getting in y'all ass this weekend, period.
Helpful. All right. Let's go ahead. And what about you, Eddie?
You know, I ain't going nowhere, Ashley. I'm here till the league kick me out for doing something stupid or saying something stupid, but I ain't going nowhere. And to piggyback on Dion comments, Ashley, you know I'm the same way. I tell the people in the locker room all the time, I say, listen, you guys are paying for this player. Y'all paying for an experience, and y'all expect us to deliver. And you know, every season around week 10 or so, we also go around and ask each individual, what's your intention? Do you plan on retiring from the SFL? If you plan on staying, if you plan on leaving and testing free agency. And along with that answer, I don't want just the answer, but I want to know why. What made you decide to stay? what made you decide to retire? What made you decide to test free agency? Because I should tell you, I also believe in transparency. You know, I'm always upfront and honest with each and every player on our team, and I expect the same from you. That's it. You know, I want to know what made you decide to stay or go. You know, because if you chose to stay, what makes you stay? You know, and I get all kind of different answers, and I appreciate hearing it. If people choose to leave, I want to know, what made you leave? Are you not happy here? Is it because you want a bigger role with the team, or, you know, with the league, or, you know, what is it that makes you leave? And so far, we've only had people leave because they wanted another shot at coaching or a GM. That was Kanye and Tanner, and then Wayo left, but I think he left because, you know, he was, you know, he like Johnny Pickler's swag or whatever, and he wanted to, you know, ride with him. Hey, bro, God bless you, you know. So I would never, like I should tell you, I take nothing personal. Let me sit up, y'all. I take nothing personal. So if you want to bounce, or if you decide to stay, you know, just let me know what makes you choose to do so. Because I want to know. I want everybody to have fun and ball out, you know, make the Pro Bowl, you know, all that good stuff to come along with it. But at the end of the day, the thing I want the most is wins. And it's not always easy selling that to everyone, because everyone wants to know, yo, man, when my player not balling out like so-and-so. I had a player on my team. Matter of fact, I'll tell you his name because it's actually a cool story right now. Mark Mello at the end of last season said, yo, Eddie, man, I don't understand it, dude. How come I'm not balling out like what's my man name in Queen City who was balling out, had all them sacks? Not David. Was it David Tilley? I forget.
Duffy?
No, yeah, Jeff Duffy.
Yeah.
I said, yo, man, my player not balling out like Jeff Duffy. I said, dude, you've been in the league for 2 seasons. He been here for a minute. So I shared my screen with him, and I took him to the SFL website. And I said, you see this? See how long he been in the league? Now look how many sacks he had at the end of the same season that you just had. Y'all real close. I said, dude, it take time. You progressing for a reason, fam, and it ain't gonna just happen overnight. You know, part of it is scheme, and part of it is, you know, your player improving. You know, everybody in a hurry to get animations and all that, and I get it. But in order to make them animations work, I need to build up on your player first. And once we get that, then you can ball out. And you see him now, you know, man, that dude, he killing it this year. Yeah, he all over the place. He killing it. Him and my man Didi Sachs. When I got Didi from San Francisco, his build was trash. And they had an animation on him, like, bro, you know, hey, to break it to you, but if you want to come here, I need you to drop the animation and that's what's on your bill. Hey, man, no problem, man. Whatever it takes to help the team win, I'm all for it. So he dropped the animation. I built him up. And now he balling out this year. He killing it too. So, man, I'm telling y'all, and y'all better be lucky y'all didn't play us before Alex, because Alex, man, he real close. But once that brother get on boy, our front four gonna be real nasty, boy. Y'all gonna be running for y'all life out there. But I'm telling y'all, man, and all my dogs up front already told us that he coming back for next season. Man, when Alex and Max Knight, oh my God, boy, we gonna be setting records out there. I'm telling you. But yeah, man, I want everyone on our team to have a great experience, have fun, you know, ball out. I just wish if I could change anything about our team, and don't get me wrong, I love every individual on our team. If I could change anything, I just wish we had some more dogs on our squad, man. I want some people who would like to do like more press conferences and stuff like I used to do when I had time. Or, you know, stuff like that, exit interviews or whatever. You know, I don't have it. I wish I did, but like I tell everybody, the best I can ask for you is you to progress on time and don't, you know, make an ass out of yourself and embarrass our organization. As long as you're doing that, that's the most I can ask for. But if I got some more of that, man, that'll be really sweet. But it is what it is. I still love everybody on the squad. You know, we do have fun. We got a lot of quiet individuals on the team who don't speak much. Didi Sachs, he come in there and speak like twice a season, but he see every game. And then my diva wide receivers, you know, James Hands, Donnie Hands. James ain't never in the locker room. Donnie come in there like once a week, but they watch every game. And they call my cell phone like, yo, man, my brother had more catches than me this week. We got to turn that around. You know what I'm saying? So I know they watching the game because they hit me up every week. I love every last one of them, everybody on my team. And I just want everybody to have a great experience. I promised our squad playoffs this year. And I feel kind of bad because of the 2 losses we had that I know we should have won. And that's on me at the end of the day. Well, DJ getting hurt, that's BS, but that's another story. But, you know, we going to get there, man, one way or another. And we just going to keep building, man. I'm working on some things in the future to make my life not so hard, to improve our chances of winning games. But that's something that's down the road. And I look forward to that. And yeah, man, because like Dion was saying, it's hard doing this shit by yourself. Sorry, Dash. It's hard doing this stuff by yourself, man. And you got to get help. You know, you might think you can do it, but it's just so much help, so hard being an owner, trying to do all the owner responsibilities, trying to, you know, get the playbook right and sim, scout, and do everything else. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? But you need help. I've been talking to owners recently who burnt out. And you'd be surprised who some of these people are. And they're like, man, you know, I can't do this no more, man. I gotta do something different or get out the game or whatever. And I get it, man, because this time, I'm in season 14. I think it was week 9 or week 10. I was sitting there scouting our next opponent. It's probably about 1 o'clock in the morning because I had to wait for my daughter to go to sleep because she was wanting some daddy time and all that. And I had to put my wife to sleep, if you know what I'm saying. And, you know, so I didn't get a chance to start working until late. And I was sitting there exhausted. And I just remember I just started crying because I was just burnt out, just emotionally spent, tired from all the simming, scouting, doing everything myself. And I just said, man, I just can't keep continuing to do this. So, man, you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna grind till I can't. But moving forward, next season, I got to make changes because I just can't keep doing it for myself. I tried to pay people to do it. I had 2 people who actually interviewed, scouted a half of one game, both of them individually, and said, yo, man, it's too much work. I'm out. You know, I appreciate the opportunity, but I can't do it. And I'm actually trying to pay people money to do it. Ain't that crazy? But yeah, so it is what it is.
Yeah, and you know,
and my squad, but that's it. That's all.
That's it, and that's all you can do. And like you said, like both of y'all was explaining, you can only call so much. You can only control so much. So I think when people actually understand that, people will be more patient and less likely to, you know, throw shade or talk smack about your team winning and, you know, your team losing and all this kind of stuff, because then you understand what it really takes to get this stuff, to do what you wanted to do. And hell, I learned something tonight, you know, that you really got to put in other plays just to make it call what you want, which is nuts. And then it's going to call whatever it wants to anyway. But fellas, great conversation. Thank you so much. Each and every one of you are welcome to come back to the show whenever you want to. Of course, it's always a joy to have you. And I thank every one of y'all for being on. I'm going to just quickly, just let everybody just give a shout out, do a quote, do a poem, whatever you want to do. A song, that would be helpful. But I'm sure none of y'all ain't going to sing them. But I'll start with you first this time, Eddie.
So much is given, much is required. So I will never complain. You know, I asked for this, you know, for 2 seasons or 3 seasons. I was, you know, trying to get ownership of a squad, and God bless with this opportunity. So I would never complain about doing what I got to do to put in the work to get us to the next level. I just wish I had more help, but I'm working on that. And Arizona, I love every last one of y'all. We got a good game. We got a big time game coming up this weekend, and Tulsa, y'all gonna take that L. Nothing personal. We can go out for a beer after that, but y'all taking the L this weekend. You can count on that.
All right, DJ.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to my teammates, man. Like from top to bottom, we got superstars on this team, man. We got the secondary, Torres, Hezlet, just out there grabbing interception. We got linebackers. I mean, Espen Royale, he came back out of retirement, man. I got to give him props for that. That was a cool thing to do. We already talked about our D-line, Chris Andrews, Burrow Mora, all of them. Like, I think you're a nice person, Ashley, but you're going to be on your ass a whole lot this week. So, and on offense, I mean, we got Gabe Manning, Corey Jones, me, in my opinion, my biased opinion, best wide receiving core in the league. We got Jason France, rookie tight end. He's out there looking like a mini Travis Kelce. Jake Hughes coming into his own, getting those interceptions down. Like, we're going to be a dangerous team. I just want to give a shout out to, my players and my coaches. Like, I think we can do it.
Phenomenal. Chris?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to my teammates as well. The boys Berto and Jay Swift on the line. We got DJ Majesty and, man, the old man Espen Rael at linebacker. Oh, I forgot about Janelle Ritter. Can't forget about the Rook. Man, we got Nate. We got, man, Carmen Shaw. We got, man, Thornton. We got Battery, man. We got Torres. The D is stacked. So, Ash, we coming after you this week. Just let you know. It's going to be all good after the game, but we're trying to put it on you. And as far as the offense go, we got our boy Sunzo, we got JQ, we got Money Manning, man, Corey Jones, man, we got Jay France, old DJ Hume at the slot, man, even my big boys on the line, Potter, everyone, man, everyone that, man, is on the Tulsa Desperado team, man, we ball, and, man, it's just shouts out to all you fellas, man, for putting that work in.
All right, Dion. I was muted.
Yeah, just following what them guys said. I love everybody on our team. We got a great group of guys, especially with the O-line, like Mike Potter and Finley James. They don't get enough credit. The league as a whole has some great offensive linemen, and they don't get enough credit. I mean, it kind of stinks that they can't have like stats like everyone else, but like Finley, he runs our social media. He does a great job. Potter's always asking me, hey, should I progress this week? What can I do to help the team? So that's like the ultimate sacrifice, because you're not getting the stats. You're not getting called out a lot of the times in the game chats, because when they see you make a big block, most people don't see that. They don't even recognize it, but you might be the what we needed to get the third and inches when you get mushed, or if you get the first down. No one says, man, what a great block by the center or by the guard or by the tackle. They don't see that. They're like, man, he got that 1 yard.
Slow down now.
Right. Well, not everybody. I'm speaking for most people. Most people, they don't acknowledge that. But we see that. The coaches, the people that's in depth, and they may not think they matter, but they are huge and a big part of the team.
For sure. It's like being a kicker. The only time you get mentioned when you screw up.
When you miss. Right. Then they talk about the kicker. They like, oh, kickers is automatic. Until you knock one off the uprights, then they looking at you like you trash or something. Like, you made 13, you missed one, now you trash all of a sudden. I mean, 60 yarders all year. But I got a question, though, to Miss Ashley Jackson.
Uh-oh.
Dion or Eddie? We need to know. Pick one.
What?
Dion or Eddie? Who did you enjoy playing for besides all the extra and the shenanigans or whatever had or happened?
That's a good one.
That's a great one. No hard feelings. We grown men. We can take it.
Okay. Well, I both for different reasons. Dion, of course, you gave me my. No. Listen.
She's gonna be politically correct, like she a senator or something.
Hey, I might be somebody. I might be an alderman one day, but even still, no. I mean, for real, it's different. That's why I kind of prerequisite everything. This podcast is like it's weird for me to be in this place from some person that cared enough to find me in the chat after I've been out here talking to everybody, and you just pulled me to the side, and that was not the position that I was going to choose. I was going to be either a wide receiver or a DE. And for you to see that in me, Dion, just be like, man, I want her to be on my squad. And you could have had anybody else. We had a lot of good players that season 13. But for you to just be like, oh man, you know what, I'm gonna give you a shot. But then I have Eddie over here, just, man, he has taking what you started, Dion, and just trying to make it even better. And he's been trying to make sure that, I mean, I always do interceptions either way from both of y'all. But it's like he's taking the time out to really delve down and see exactly what I can do to be a better player. And with the opportunities of being GM and things like that, you know, I felt in a way both of y'all needed me for different reasons. And I'm glad to be both of your friends. I'm glad to just have both of you guys in my life. That's good.
So bottom line, Dion. Everybody heard it, Dion. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying. Ashley Jackson for SFL governor. That was a great politically correct answer.
Yeah.
That's all love though.
All right, but you know, thank you guys again for being on. And as far as you guys saying that I'm gonna be on my ass, I don't think so. I know how to scramble. I know how to get the hell out of the way when I need to. And if you see last game, I avoided a couple sacks. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I got sacked once. Did I?
Just one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just one. Just once.
Yeah,
That's my guy. See, he already know it. Eddie, get your scout game. Look at my guy. He got it right here. He like,
okay,
one time.
But did you see how many times Didi sacked Christian?
Yeah, Didi is a
Yeah,
beast.
he's
He coming
Right. So JQ, y'all talking about me? You better watch out. JQ is rookie boy.
You need to be more worried about Torres and Thornton and Heslip.
I'm not worried about
wide receivers.
I ain't worried about none of y'all.
He gets that
JQ
ball
gonna
out.
get carted off the field. he getting JQ getting carted off.
Bounty gate.
Go
Y'all
get
heard
your
it
man.
here first. There's some fines coming down.
Your DBs better come out to play because with the weapons we got, somebody's gonna be open. And Q gets that ball out quick. So.
Don't worry, we got something for y'all. Don't worry. It's gonna be all right.
See y'all soon.
See you soon.
That's
All
where
right,
he
y'all.
goes so he can get back in the lab. No excuses.
So you can continue in the lab while you over there running the Sims while we talking.
I'm done. It's over and done with now. I'm about to go eat some dinner.
Loss. That's what you saw,
I'm
right?
gonna take a shot to this Tulsa win this weekend.
Okay. Shots early. We'll see. Tell you what, whoever wins got to buy drinks at the convention. How about that?
Okay. Yeah, we'll let everybody. Hey, I'm game for that. I'm game. That's damn.
All right.
You mean the loser buys drinks?
That's what I meant. Oh shoot!
Yeah,
I'm sorry. My bad. That's what I meant.
We know what you meant.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
All right.
Nice.
All right.
All right, everybody, and that is it. Thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. Thank you. Special thank yous goes out to my guests, DJ Humes and Dion Hawkins and Christopher Andrews and Eddie Gage, and of course, Mr. Mike Truilo himself. Thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Ashley. This is the second time I've been on, and I've enjoyed it immensely both times. So anytime you have Carolina on or a broadcasters episode or something, just let me know, and I'll be happy to come back.
Okay, I would love that. You know, I'm always looking for people. I'm always looking for it. And I thank you for even having time tonight to even host the show. I know you got a lot of meetings and everything that you're going through, so thanks. But all right,
thanks, Ashley.
Anytime. But everybody remember too, well, I'm looking forward to bringing you another great podcast next week. But until then, y'all, stay safe, treat each other well. Striker and Mike.